What should we call this one?
Oh, God, I should have been thinking about this the whole time, and I didn't. Oh, show no, she didn't. Oh, show no, Sheila didn't. I mean, it's not that bad.
It's really not. How are you?
I am on fumes, running on fumes.
Yeah.
But I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It's
We
the
just
new
literally
job.
caught up.
Yeah.
But we were like, I guess doing it
But I guess, like,
for show now.
yeah. It's the new job of it all.
Just got a new job.
I did. I work at a bank, but it's not that intense. It's just draining because I'm relearning a bunch of things that I used to work at a bank 100 years ago, and now I'm doing it for the schedule because I can still mom. And now it's just like relearning things, and I have the upper hand because I certainly have done this before. And so I'm trying to like maintain my patience and grace for people who haven't and are learning it for the first time. It's just not going well for me. There's so many times where I'm like on mute because it's like all the training is through the computer. And so, but we're in like a whole room. And so I'm like having to like make sure, like double check that I'm muted so that I'm not talking shit in front of everybody and for all to hear. Because there's a lot of what the fuck moments or like, oh my God, or like, no, you know.
Yeah.
It's brutal, but temporary. But I'm good.
Yay.
You?
Also fumes.
I feel like that's just kind of,
That's always my vibe.
yeah.
I'm always on fumes, but I am very not a go person. So you add one thing to my schedule, and I'm like,
Immediate
oh God,
fumes.
I'm dying.
Immediate fumes.
Yeah, I'm dying. But I went to Disneyland yesterday. So,
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So that's, my feet are tired. I was not prepared, so I did wear platform Vans.
Reasonable fumes.
Yeah.
Platform Vans. But if you would have bought new shoes.
No, 100%.
Yeah, that would have been dumb. It would have hurt anyway. And you
It
can
wasn't
do
on,
anything.
I didn't know if I was going. If I knew I was going, I would have worn regular Vans.
Yeah, maybe some joga pants.
Yeah.
Did you wear your
Oh,
skirt?
no. What skirt?
I don't know. You said I have platform Vans and a skirt.
Oh, yeah, no, I was wearing a skirt. I did switch to jeans. I was worried I was going to be too hot in the jeans, but I wore jeans. And I thought I was going to Universal, so I had I had a Simpsons Halloween shirt.
Oh, I do love that one.
But
Oh, so you wore like your gray jeans?
no,
love that outfit.
I wore my high-waisted front pocket ones.
Oh, those are cute too.
Yeah, no, it was a really cute outfit because I thought I was going to Universal for like a couple hours, and I was like, this will be perfect. I wasn't expecting a full Disneyland.
A full Disney.
No stroller, no backpack.
You like belly flopped off the high dive on that
I
one.
did, but
Worth it.
free. You can't pass up free.
Free.
We got free tickets. so
Shout
we
out.
had to go.
Auntie
Shout
Rhonda.
out Auntie Rhonda. Who made it all better because Faye was like freaking out once she saw. I know.
The crocodile tears, the silent cry, that's where I would have been like.
It was the
Done.
silent cry that did it. I was like, oh God, she is heartbroken.
It's like a real one. You know when
Yeah.
they like flail and go scorpion on us? I'm like, I don't
zero
have zero.
sympathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it's a silent single tear.
Like looking out the window, just like silently crying to herself. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Because I would never ask for a favor, but
No.
I did.
Worth it.
So now that we've
Oh yeah,
caught
super
up
tangent.
for probably so long. I don't know.
I know.
This thing is already at 21 minutes, but I started recording like really, really early.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
So
there's
that
no
wasn't
way.
20 minutes of banter, but
Just like 19. I'm just kidding. I literally haven't seen you in like
forever.
Uh-huh.
The last time we recorded was was in September. We went on a yoga retreat.
Yeah.
We went on the yoga retreat. We did You Got a Job.
I got job.
You got
I
job.
don't think I've seen you since job.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
It's like a week and a half, but...
I know. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the Rajneeshees.
Rajneeshees, huh?
Yeah. Do you know anything about them?
Nothing. Not a single thing. I just really like to say the name.
Rajneeshees.
The Rajneeshees.
Okay. So in early September through October of 1984, the ER in the Dalles, Oregon, was inundated with patients experiencing stomach aches, chills, vomiting, and diarrhea. 45 people ended up being admitted to the hospital, including a baby who was born 2 days after his mother was infected.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So sad.
That's...
and after, so nobody died.
Okay. That was going to be my thing. I'm like, this poor little baby.
This baby.
I know. Okay.
No, baby was survived.
But it took out 45 people.
45 people. So afterwards, there was a study, and it was discovered that 751 people were suffering from gastroenteritis. The cause was Salmonella typhimurium.
Okay.
That was a lot for me. That's a tongue twister. Yeah, that was a lot for me to, especially after a beer, but...
Yeah.
So anyway, salmonella of this type is usually caused by unsafe food handling. And on September 17th, the Wasco-Sherman Public Health Department started to receive reports of the uptick of gastroenteritis cases. Their investigation revealed that most of the patients had eaten at salad bars at 2 restaurants in the days before. So on September 25th, they closed every salad bar in the county. However, cases kept
I was just going to say, it's
popping
too
up.
late.
So then the CDC was like, okay, we've interviewed hundreds of employees. They traced the food sources and they couldn't figure out where the outbreak started. But the locals were like, we know who it was. It was the Rajneeshees.
What?
Yeah.
Or do they have like a farm where they... Okay, so this is where my brain... Sorry, this is where my brain is going. Are they like harvesting bad lettuce? And no. Every time I think of a bad food outbreak, it's lettuce.
It's always lettuce. It's always romaine.
It's romaine lettuce.
It's romaine all the time.
Okay.
No, but this case remains, it's the first and it remains the worst bioterror attack in U.S. history.
But it's like an attack.
Oh my God. Bioterror attack. Mm-hmm. So
the Rajneeshees?
The Rajneeshees. So the Rajneeshees arrived in Wasco County a few years earlier in 1981 near the town of Antelope. Antelope had a population of 40 people, and most of them were middle-class retirees looking for an affordable place to live out their lives
live out the rest of their days.
It was like log cabins.
Yeah.
Hunting.
I'm thinking rural.
It is very rural.
For like 40 people.
40 people.
That's that's like a pinky tip.
Yeah. So this was disrupted with the arrival of the Rajneeshees, or the sannyasins, as they like to call themselves. They bought a 64,000-acre ranch, previously known as Big Muddy Ranch. And they were all dressed in shades of orange and red and descended on the town by thousands.
Wait, where did they come from? Okay. Because I'm just like trying to envision this whole bit, and it's hard. I was thinking, oh, the Rajneeshees. Like, oh, it's a cute family. That must be their last name. And
with poisoned lettuce.
Romaine.
With their poisoned romaine.
Poisoned romaine lettuce. What? Okay. Yeah. Where'd they come from?
India.
Tell me more.
I'll tell you more.
Yeah.
Let me get there.
Okay.
So according to one neighbor, when they arrived, they said they just wanted to farm their land, worship the way they wanted to worship, and be good neighbors. But locals in Antelope started to suspect something was off when their leader, Bhagwan Shree Rajneesh, also known as Osho or just Bhagwan, he drove into town in a motorcade with like 10 Rolls Royces.
What?
And then I just all of the Rajneeshees lined the streets like crying and cheering.
Oh no, red flag.
Mm-hmm. So
that
Rajneesh,
is not them coming in all like, oh, I'm just gonna farm this land and, be a good neighbor and be, practice the way, or not practice, but,
Mm-hmm.
They're coming in hard. They're dropping hammers. in their 10 Rolls Royces or 12 Rolls Royces. Oh, God. Oh, God. And then.
Have you never seen Wild Wild Country?
No.
On Netflix?
Am I right? Is that what you're saying then?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're not right.
Okay.
But
Well, no, don't get that. Don't get it twisted.
anyway, okay. So Rajneesh, their leader, he was born December 11th, 1931. So he's a Sag.
older.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, he's dead. He's dead.
Dead.
He wasn't murdered. Just old. 1931.
1931.
So he was old.
Yeah.
So he was born in a small village in central India, and from a young age, he was smart and rebellious. He became a professor in philosophy, and he would travel and lecture outside of just the academic institutions, which in turn amassed him a large following. He believed that there was a place for spiritualism alongside capitalism, science, and technology, and he was critical of institutionalized religion and socialism, which at the time was like the foundation of like the new age self-realization movement. So like during the time, a lot of like the self-realization movement was like all about, sacrifice and socialism and like foregoing worldly pleasures and giving away your money, doing good work. So he set himself apart by being like, no, there's a place for technology and capitalism alongside all of that. And, the spiritualism, the Hinduism alongside with like the capitalism of like the Americas or North America, that can come together and create like this whole new version of what they called the new man. So by the 80s, Rajneesh had established himself as a spiritual leader. Rajneeshpuram, his ashram in India, was thriving. It had thousands of residents and a rotation of about 30,000 visitors a year, mainly from Europe and the U.S. I cannot talk today.
It's fine.
And over 100,000 followers worldwide.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So he was already like...
He was already super popular.
Like so much momentum.
Huge following.
Yeah.
So then he didn't want, so he didn't want his ashram to be just like a place of mental entertainment.
What is an ashram? Just
An
so I make
ashram
sure.
is a place, it's basically like a commune.
Okay.
It's a commune where people come and they work and are allowed to like study and find like for spiritual development. But Rajneesh, he didn't want it just to be a place for like basically rich white people to come and just meditate and live there for free. So he was like, you're expected to work. Like one lady came and she was like, I worked toilets for the first, like cleaning toilets in the ashram for the first like 2 years. So not only were they expected to work, but they also had to pay to be there because he thought that meditation was a product that he was selling to people.
What? That doesn't make any sense. He's like, work to live here, also pay me.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm sure it's gonna get culty real quick.
Well, I mean,
It is culty.
Yeah, it's very culty. So the reason why he wanted people to pay to be there was that I think that it was going to weed out the people that were there just for like, oh, I came up for this
giggles,
thing.
like, come out here
And
just to like experience.
it also running a socialist kind of society, even though he was like against socialism. It was very expensive, and there was a lot of people to keep up with, and so he was like, people need to pay into this.
Pay your way in.
I'm not going to pay for all of this for the whole community. So they had a huge rate of growth, and so he needed more money. So they came up with their own banking system. It was like a banking card system.
Insane.
Yeah. And so because of Rajneesh's age and failing health, he became a little bit more reclusive and stopped lecturing at the ashram. And so he started to be barely seen. So he left most of the day-to-day to his secretary, Ma Anand Sheila. And Sheila, she was only 16 when her father brought her into Rajneesh's orbit. Oh. And she was basically groomed to be his like right-hand woman.
Were they like more than right hand?
No.
Oh, thank God. I just almost had a moment.
No, I think she was very much in love with him, and I think he knew it and took advantage. And that doesn't mean her hands are clean. But she for sure was in love with him. But maybe not at first. Because she was with him for a very, very long time. So the growth of the community and the controversy surrounding some of his tactics, which included questionable sexual techniques and violence, came to the attention of the Indian government. And there were allegations of drug use.
Who was he? Like, just the people that lived there?
So they had... so the way that, like, some of their, like, healing sessions worked... was that, like, you know, in somatics, like in somatic work, there's like the calming, like reset your nervous system kind of small movements, but there's also like the jumping and like thrashing around.
Right.
So it was a lot of that, but a lot of it was like sexual, allowing these men to kind of live out these like kind of like more sadistic urges, and women to also like work out some of their aggression, like, so it felt very empowering. And then at the end they would do some breathing and they'd all meditate in like silence, but they were, you know, encouraged to get things out of their system, like sexually or with violence, like fighting.
Like, get it all out, and then we'll breathe together,
and then we'll meditate,
move.
And then you've moved past it, and like it's seen as like a sort of like somatic healing. And I don't know. I don't feel like you need to do that to reset your nervous system.
No, I don't think that you have to do anything that affects other people to reset your own nervous system.
No, and there's like a lot of allegations of real yuck that come out later, because I did go into this. I mean, I always try to go into it with I don't know, like an open mind and trying to understand. I also try to go into it like, how would I get sucked into this, and what would my thought be if
How can you not, though? You're like, where would I fit into all of this?
Where
like,
would I fit into this? What would I do? And so I get why people were drawn there, especially like in this is like the 70s, I think, is when people started going like, to the ashram. Yeah.
Free.
And it's like the era of like the hippie movement's kind of over, but people are still looking for that. And there's not a lot of that.
And people are looking for like change and ways to maybe escape whatever is troubling them. And it sounds like an easy reset.
Yeah. So the Indian government was starting to crack down on them because there was allegations of drug use, tax fraud, physical harm to the followers and visitors. There was a suggestion that there might be some sort of prostitution ring going on. And so that crackdown combined with the unsustainable growth, he and Sheila decided they were going to move their base of operations. So in 1981, they bought that huge property in Oregon, and thousands of followers just started like trickling in. Slowly trickling in. And so they took to this like hilly mountainside, and a lot of people were like, oh, that's kind of weird. It's not super farmable land, because it was like very craggy. And
Right. And I'm sure there's farmable land in Oregon.
It was like that particular parcel of land, they were like, it's probably not like, it's not fertile ground.
Right.
However, they built everything up, like from the ground up. Yeah. They tilled everything. They like terraformed it. Is terraform? This isn't a question for you, I realized.
Know your audience.
I was like, ask me? I was going to ask if terraforming is something that's in real life, or if it's just in video games. And I don't know. Okay,
for more than one reason, I am not the one.
So they terraformed the entire property. They built infrastructure, roads, plumbing, sewage, electrical grids. They had a fire department.
They went
restaurants. Full on. A shopping center, but everything was like red and orange. A bank with its own banking system. A 4,200-foot airstrip with its own planes called Rajneesh Air. An eco-friendly farm which grew its own produce, and men and women worked side by side to build everything, which was like very empowering.
Oh, that's cool.
To a lot of these women, they were like had all like the big machinery and like the sledgehammers, And they felt like it looked like it was a very empowering time. Like, a lot of people said they worked like basically like 16 hours, and like the end of the day they were just smiling because they felt
good about it.
They felt good about it.
Yeah. Honestly, there are days where I'm like dead tired myself, and I'm like, no, I fucked it up today. I did it all, and like, you know, and you get energy and you feel good about that.
And then you sleep real well.
Yes.
Yeah. So they did all of that, and then they opened a hotel in Portland that because they were only an hour away from Portland, so they opened a hotel in downtown Portland. So
do we know what it's called today?
It was called Rajneesh Hotel. It's closed down. I don't know where the building was.
But like the area that they like, has it been built out, and is it now like Beaverton or some shit, or like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
wait, hold on, I want to see. So it was on 11th between Jefferson and Main Street. So it was kind of near like Old Town. What's over here? Near the... Oh, it's by the Portland Art Museum.
okay.
That's where I think my brother graduated college. Ooh, they have really cool art installations. Ooh, there's Coraline. Oh, okay. I definitely know where this is, and I've been here because they did the Leica exhibit here when they a few years ago. I think it's in Seattle now, but they had a Leica exhibit where they had like all of the Coraline stuff. Remember, like we went to the one at Comic-Con a few years ago.
Yeah.
Or not a few years ago. That was like 5 years ago. But
yeah, but that's
so downtown Portland.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, so that way that visitors could come and stay without having to stay
on the farm,
because there was, I think they were still building housing, and they put up these like cute little like very minimalist A-frames.
I love that.
But the new residents, they made locals nervous, and Jonestown was like
rightfully so
pretty fresh in their minds. So they were like, that's a cult. Because it was just all over the news.
Yeah.
And they just immediately were like...
people coming in like in troves just to like, oh my God.
With the red. And it wasn't...
the orange. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All of this coming in. Oh my God. They must have been like... their britches must have been up and wrinkled. No.
What?
Like in a bunch.
What?
In a bunch. Britches? Yeah. Like
Britches in a bunch?
Britches in a bunch.
Their britches were real wrinkled. Real wrinkled.
Edit it out. Edit it out.
Okay, so they were real nervous. And it was clear to the residents of Antelope that the group was not really an agricultural commune as they kind of presented themselves, but it was something else entirely. And Bill Bowerman, who was an Olympic coach, inventor of the modern running shoe, and a co-founder of Nike.
Yeah.
He led
Nike's
the charge.
Up there.
Yeah.
The Oregon of it all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was basically, I went on a little bit of like, this is a side note. Mm-hmm. I went on this like little deep dive on him, and basically they were like, shoes were like super fun. Like running shoes were like super hard back then. And he would take their soles and like put them through a waffle iron, because I think were still rubber soles. But he put it in a waffle iron so that it had more flexibility and then they were like, that was it. And so that's how it all started. That's how Nike started.
That's rad.
That's cool. I know. It was very cool. Mm-hmm. So he led the charge against the Rajneeshees, trying to get ordinances passed to prevent them from expanding. And so they started buying up land in Antelope in 1982, and then gained control of their city council, because they were like,
holy shit,
well,
that's the way to do it. That's
anything.
Some bad bitch shit.
I know.
Yeah.
And like low key, like in wild country, Sheila's like, I mean, this was for sale. Why are you mad? We gave you we paid fair for it. We didn't like... Actually, people are just mad that we're here, even though we're like giving them our money, and just slowly started like buying stuff up. And then eventually like and it's really funny because there was this like kind of like sweet old guy who was like, yeah, it was just like me and then like 3 Rajneeshee guys. And so they're all in red, and he's got like his like big suspenders.
His overalls with a straw hat. And
a piece of straw.
Chewing on straw.
His teeth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Basically, that was them. And he was like, I just he's like, I knew I was going to just be there with them. And he just was like the sweetest little, I mean, I don't necessarily know much about him. He could probably be the worst, but
Yeah.
I don't know. In the documentary, he seemed pretty nice.
I must watch. Should I have watched? No, because then it would have ruined it.
Yeah, you don't want to watch before.
No.
But anyway, so the fact that they now have control over Antelope made the surrounding towns angry and fearful. So there was campaigns to show the Rajneeshees how unwanted they were.
So wait, when Mr. Nike bought up the surrounding land...
Oh, no. Mr. Nike didn't. The Rajneeshees did.
Oh my God. I thought oh my God.
No.
I thought Mr. Nike was like, nah, I'm going to come in there.
No, he was like, you're not going to build anything. You don't even have land here. And they were like, okay.
Watch this. Mm-hmm. Now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that'd be a pretty baller move to be like,
That's what I was like,
just one single man just buying up all this land.
I was like, that's some bad bitch shit. Like, that's what you do when you want to make it. Like, you have the resources.
Sell a house,
you go
here's
in.
some Nike shoes.
Oh, give me my waffle maker.
Yeah, pass me that waffle iron.
That waffle iron. Waffle maker.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's both.
It is. But in my head, I was like, oh, he's going in. He's like, not on my watch.
No. It was them. It was them. It was dem Rajneeshees. So the locals were super irritated. So they started like making these shirts that says "Bag the Bhagwan" on it with like his like an illustration of him and then like a like the circle with the cross.
Yeah.
Like the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters thing. Yeah. So they started making like shirts and bumper stickers and flags. Like
Holy shit.
The hate for the group spread in a way that was like not cool.
Yeah.
Like I get why they were maybe frustrated and upset, but the way that they did it feels very, very yuck.
I was just going to say, there's a good way to go about it and a yuck way to go about it.
So they were super upset. So hate for the group started to spread. And like they were making the news because people were like, we don't want them here.
So ridiculous and just trying to create this uproar.
Yeah. And so in 1983, the Rajneesh Hotel in Portland was bombed.
Oh my God.
And no one other than the bomber was hurt because I guess he accidentally blew off a finger or two. But also,
way to go! What was it? Was it the guy with the straw?
No, he was some rando who was like linked to a Muslim fundamentalist group, but it was not any of the neighbors. It was no one that knew them. However, the bombing marked this change in the Rajneeshees' tactics. So they started a militarized peace force, and they started walking around the commune carrying Uzis, and then they drove a Jeep with like a machine gun that was like on the top in the town.
Oh my God, it just screams war, war, war. Like all bad things.
It was super yuck. They started watching.
It's ironic that it's called a peace force.
That's the point, I think.
Oh, okay, thanks. I'm glad that landed for me.
Oh my God. So they started like kind of like these intimidation tactics where they would like stand on the property line and just like watch people's houses. Like I think that they felt like people were going to come at them and they were going to be like, we're standing our ground. Like super defensive.
We're ready for
against the people that they probably didn't need to be defensive over. Like if these people are going to like the Chamber of Commerce or whatever and like, we're not going to let you have a permit. They're not going to be the ones that are like
pew pew or like all
pew pew.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah. Like, they're not going to be the ones showing up to start a fight like that.
No. So, soon after this, they just started getting a little bit more brazen. So, they renamed the town of Antelope to Rajneesh. They raised property taxes on the few locals that lived there.
That's fucked up. They were there before them.
And then they renamed the local recycling center the Adolf Hitler Recycling Center.
Okay.
Just to like
piss a few people off.
I'm not quite sure. I think that they wanted to just be like provocative.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It doesn't land.
No, it just is like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. It's
Instead
just
of like, you know?
Yeah.
They were trying to be too much. And it showed.
Yeah. So Sheila, Ma Anand Sheila, was told by Bhagwan at this point to do press and provoke them. And she kind of was like badass. Like, she's not good. Mm-hmm. But she was pretty badass in her approach. So, like, one interview, they were like, they said, quote, "We don't want you in our town. What do you say to that?" And she said, quote, "Well, I say tough titties."
Oh my God. I'm putting that in my pocket and I'm saving that for the rest of my life.
I say tough titties. And, like, she just said it like, well, I say tough titties.
Well, I say tough titties. I mean, I'm here. What do you want?
And her attitude was like, I don't know. It was just like,
take it or leave it.
She was like,
what you want. I'm here.
She's like, fuck you. Like, it was kind of, she's very deluded for sure. But, like, also, like, I kind of love her, like, her vibe of just being like, I don't know, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, especially from an Indian woman in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
to be so, like, I
don't care. Give, like...
Okay, it's, like, very refreshing to see.
Right.
I mean, again, she's not innocent in any of this, but, like, I don't know, she's really,
unapologetically her.
Yeah.
And just kind of
best and worst.
Yeah.
Take it.
Or
take it.
We
say take it or leave it so much.
Yeah. Oh, we do.
We do.
I don't know that.
Or was it just today? Did we at all?
No.
Have I been saying this in my personal life too much?
Probably.
And
it wasn't me.
Projecting it onto this podcast?
I think so.
Okay. I know, I haven't seen you, so it must have...
It wasn't me.
Just been me.
Tough titties.
Tough titties. So in 1984, they decided the only way to obtain the building permits was to take over Wasco's County election in November, despite only accounting for less than 10% of the population. So they had to take more drastic action to win the 3 seats needed to, like, take over their council. So they had a plan that had 2 parts. One was to depress the turnout among regular voters by poisoning thousands with salmonella. Round up the unhoused population and entice them to vote in their favor with promises of food and shelter. So that was like a 2-pronged plan.
Yeah, let me poison these people and then promise refuge.
Yeah.
So they, like, strong-armed the people that they didn't salmonella.
Yeah. So they tested their plan a few times. And the first time they tested was 2 commissioners visited the compound in August of 84. Mm-hmm. I didn't put the 19 on there, and I was like, 84 is not a date that you can have.
You're like, what is that?
What is this note I wrote?
Yeah.
So a resident dressed in hospital garb. I don't know why that's important, but every single article that I
made sure to mention the hospital garb.
So I was like, I don't know, maybe it's important. So I put it in there.
So it's in.
So they offered them water. Both were violently ill. One ended up in the hospital for 4 days and almost died. And then they hoped that just this would stoke fear with the commissioners and get them to appease the requests. But when permits were continuing to be denied, they were like, all right, we gotta go bigger.
Yeah, bring out the big guns.
So one morning in early September, 2 teams left the compound and traveled to nearby restaurants in the Dalles and secretly poured salmonella into salsa and salad bars.
Oh,
and they hit 10 restaurants and a handful of public places. They, like, hid it up their sleeve in, like, a little brown bag, and they would, like, wave their hand over. Which
I don't even know how. No, I know nothing.
I fuck up a salsa bar.
That would have been you.
It would have been me.
It would have been you.
And honestly, every article, because when I first started looking into this, one of the places that got hit was called Taco Time, and I started looking up the reviews of Taco Time, and it had really good reviews, and I was like, oh,
that would have been you.
I want to go
now. The
carrots? Give me a pickled carrot.
Aaron loves the pickled carrot.
Pickled jalapenos.
That would have been you.
Pico de Gallo.
You would have been a goner.
A Chipotle situation.
I just red sauce or bust. I don't know how to get fancy.
I had not had burritos in so long, and I had burritos this last weekend, and I was like...
Did I tell you I resurfaced? It's not it. I had another Chile Relleno burrito from Junior's.
Where? Oh, from Junior's.
Wow, it's so good.
They're so good.
It's so good.
So good.
Sour cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, on Friday. It was Friday. I also had a Chile Relleno burrito, but it was from Cheetos, not from...
You do Cheetos a lot. Is that your go-to?
No, Junior's is our go-to. But Cheetos, it depends. So Cheetos uses, like, white cheese.
Oh.
Like a mozzarella.
Oh.
And they're...
No,
but I fuck with it.
That's kind of
and
weird.
it's got beans in it.
Oh, so yeah, I just went away. No, that's weird for me.
No,
mozzarella.
They're both something different.
Okay.
So I respect them both for their different vibes.
Yeah.
But Jade isn't a big fan of Junior's. So Cheetos.
What does she have against Junior's? The salsa?
I don't know. She's a picky one. Well, I think she normally gets a breakfast burrito, but I think she's always like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
that's an impression.
Yeah, that was honestly, it was spot on.
Yeah.
It was good. She's just this delicate little...
She's like, I don't really know. She doesn't, like, go hard on, like, Mexican food like we all do.
Mm-mm. She's a very clean... She loves a caprese salad, that one.
Yeah, she's, like, a very healthy eater.
Mm-hmm. She would have also
Taco Time did get hit. And
Jade would have not survived the romaine.
Oh, yeah.
She would have got gone.
Yeah, she would have got too. Mm-hmm. Got. I don't know. Anyway, they also thought, the Rajneeshees, they also considered poisoning the local water supply. And I think that they did try, but it just was too diluted. And so it wasn't as potent.
That is just crazy.
They also considered crashing a plane loaded with bombs into the county courthouse. So this isn't...
They are coming in like crazy. Like all
crashing
of this,
a plane with bombs into a county courthouse.
Sounds very 9/11-y.
It sounds very like it's a county courthouse. Mm-hmm. Like you're shooting your wad like way too quick
it's just
for what it is. A county courthouse.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a lot on a little.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, but a little. Yeah. Right?
I mean, they didn't do it.
They probably figured it out. They were like, this is
a county courthouse.
It's overkill.
It's a little overkill. We'll go with the mass poisoning.
Yeah. Let's go with the salmonella.
Yeah. So, in order to fulfill the second part of their plan, the Rajneeshees started a share a home program and chartered dozens of buses of unhoused people. So, not dozens of unhoused people, but
buses.
Dozens of buses.
So
hundreds.
On a bus.
Oh, wait. Oh, my notes. Thousands. It wasn't hundreds. It was thousands of people. It was 2,300 people who were come.
Where did they find these unhoused people?
They scoured the U.S. So they sent teams out and they were like, hey, are you hungry? Do you need shelter? Come with me. Come with me. Get on this bus.
Literally people in their most desperate state.
Yeah. And then, but all you have to do is you have to register to vote when you get there.
I was just going to say they're using them for their vote.
And then they registered to get on the bus, and then they could stay there as long as they promised to vote with the Rajneeshees.
I mean, to somebody who's in dire need of just survival, that sounds like an easy out.
Yeah. And then they were super grateful. There was a lot of people that were suffering from a lot of mental health issues.
As most unhoused people do.
Yeah, and the commune wasn't quite ready for that. But a lot of people were just so grateful to be there. They were they're giving me work. They're giving me a house. Yeah. They're telling me they believe in me and that I'm special. And
Yeah. And I
like,
haven't
I
heard
love
this
it.
in so long.
Yeah.
I've only heard and felt like the scum of... Right? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Okay, yeah. Sorry. I was like, oh, I'm going to piss a lot of people off right now. But, you know, like, unhoused people, like, they're really in the thick of it. They're literally at rock bottom, some of them. And to meet somebody or to meet a group of people or to feel, like, taken in and cared for.
Yeah.
100%, I get it.
Yeah, it was great. But the Rajneeshees were like, you're a little too rowdy. So they started spiking their beer kegs with tranquilizers.
Oh, they are all about population control. Like, how am I going to control the masses? I'm going to salmonella you. Yeah. I'm going to now tranquilize you.
They pressured most of their women to get sterilized, or if they became pregnant, have abortions, then get sterilized.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. One of the women, she said that both her and her daughter, her teenage daughter, were sterilized on the compound. Which, whatever. If you want to do that, I get it.
But don't do it under somebody else's request or somebody else's demand. I
feel like at the request of someone else is yuck, and also as a teen, like she doesn't know what she wants.
Do you know all this dumb shit I did as a teenager?
Yeah.
I honestly wonder. Erin and I talk about it all the time. I'm like, how did we survive? We should have been killed and wiped off the face of the freaking planet several times.
State officials, they kept a close eye on the cult's activities and soon caught wind of their voter fraud scheme. So they halted all voter registration in Wasco County and invoked an emergency rule on October 10th that required anyone registering to vote to appear in person at an eligibility hearing, in which they just kind of reinforced, like, there's a 20-day residency requirement in order to vote. And you guys have been here for, like, a week. And so the Rajneeshees filed for an injunction, and they were denied because they weren't in compliance. And so they were like, well, fine, then fuck that. Like, fuck that, we're not going to vote. We're going to boycott the vote, like it mattered. Okay. And then they pulled their candidates, and they were like, just kidding. You guys just, like, don't get our sense of humor.
Oh, my God. They're like, it was a joke.
Don't you get it? That mass poisoning was just, like, really funny.
Yeah, and I, like, was
that poor Bibbit.
Uh-huh.
That was just hilarious.
All the efforts that we went to like, bring all these people in, like, we were just, it was just child's play. We were just, no, the worst. I know. So following the attack, pressure intensified not only on the group, but also on Sheila. So she was facing pressure from these newcomers looking to steal influence with the Bhagwan, and the government was looking into the poisoning. So Sheila ordered a hit on the DA in Oregon, Charles Turner, to thwart the investigation, but it was so poorly planned. They were like, oh, he's going to come out to his car. So they, like, waited in a parking garage, like, all night, and he, like, never showed up. Oh, and then they were like, I guess we're just leaving. Oh, my God.
She also ordered a hit on Bhagwan's doctor, who she believed was going to administer a fatal overdose to him at his own request.
Wait, because he was old and, like, he was tired of it all?
And I think that he was like, oh, if I die, like, it'll probably be, like, better, or, like, maybe he was just done, or maybe he knew that shit was, like, getting
real yuck, and he was like, I don't want to live to see it go bad.
I think he pretends to be like, oh, I'm very feeble, and I don't really know what's going on, but I think 100% he does. And I think he knew it was getting hot, and that he was, I think it was...
He saw the direction it was going.
Yeah, I think he was like, this is how I'm going to get out of this. And so Sheila had, God, I forget what her name is, which is, like, so stupid because it's in my notes somewhere. Jane something. Anyways,
sure.
The sweet Australian looking lady, she took a vial of, like, some sort of poison, again with the poison, and stabbed him, and he just
the doctor
during, like, a big celebration. And then she said, like, she stabbed him, and then he was looking at her, and then she was like, what's wrong with you? Like, acting
oh my
like
God, that's so psycho!
I know.
Oh my God, that's next level psycho.
I know.
I'm gonna just shank you and look you in the eye and be like,
oh, what's happening? Well, and then she was like, I think that her, like, so in Wild Wild Country, her interviews, I mean, obviously.
Wait, are these the real people that are being interviewed too?
Yeah, the real people.
Oh my God.
So, like, her interviews are really
watch
interesting because the way that she's very remorseful, but I think it's very indicative of, like, how cult behavior happens, is she's just like, I'm protecting my spiritual leader. This man was going to kill him.
Yeah. And how it can just be, like, twisted in such a way.
Yeah, and she was like, I felt it was like an out-of-body experience when I volunteered. I didn't realize it was my voice that was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And she was like, it was like floating.
It just like it fell out of my body because it felt like the right thing to do for
which I think is like very, especially like in cults, I feel like this is how things get fucking like bit.
Yeah. No. People like become martyrs on the name of the greater, what they think is.
Well, and also, despite Bhagwan being like, institutionalized religion sucks and like blah 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 blah, they established Rajneesheism as a religion when they came over here in order to get him a visa.
Isn't it ironic?
And so he wore, like, they all wore like necklaces with like his like a brooch or something with like his shit on it, and it was very much like, I think that he very much leveraged this interest in people wanting to like,
that's probably how he got so many people out here though too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, I'm like, how did so many people who are not citizens get out here that quick?
Yeah. Is that they established it as a religion.
Yeah.
And they needed
here, like asylum essentially, probably, or whatever. Yeah.
And like I think it was popular with women a lot because like the stabby lady, she was saying that when she was with her husband in Australia, she was just angry like all of the time. Just like so angry and had this like rage inside of herself. And so when she finally was able to go to India and like be there at the ashram, she was like, you flailed, you got this all out of your system, and then it was just quiet.
Yeah.
And it was probably really cathartic.
I'm sure.
But there's also like a lot of cults, the way that they function and the way that they use their like languaging and all of their tactics. A lot of that is, using chanting. Like chanting is something that creates like a euphoria if done repetitively for a long time. Like dance, big groups of people speaking in tongues.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know if that was going to be frowned upon.
No.
Fuck it.
No.
Okay,
like,
no,
but that's like part of like all these things that kind of create this sense of euphoria that you associate with this leader. And so it makes you start to associate that feeling with that person.
Right.
And then you only have reverence for that person.
Right. They become like your beacon of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So in September of 1985, Sheila and a circle of like her close like circle of advisors fled the commune. Things were getting a little bit dicey. There was this new woman who was coming who was
Stabby lady?
No.
Oh.
Stabby went with her.
Oh.
But there was this new woman who was coming and kind of like asserting control over the Bhagwan. So they bought him 300, like they called them the Hollywood crowd. And they bought him $1 million watch.
What?
Bought him 365 Rolls Royces so that he could drive one every single day of the week. They introduced all of this money to him, and so Sheila was starting to lose influence. And so she was like, I'm going to get bagged for all of the shit that he's probably told her to do. She's tried to assassinate his doctor. And so she flees. And the Bhagwan was pissed. And so he comes out. He's like, I'm going to break my silence. He calls like a press conference. And he is like, Sheila, she poisoned all these people. She called a hit on me.
She
did
the reason
everything.
For all of this, like framed essentially.
Yeah, he basically like scapegoated her, and he was like her and her gang of fascists. And so, but in doing that, he implicated the Rajneeshees in the salmonella poisoning, the hit on Charles Turner, and then opened them to.
I was just gonna say he just outed.
He just basically outed everything. The thing about Wild Wild Country, and I suggest everyone watches it. But
is it on the Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So the thing that I find really interesting is that a lot of the old footage of like Bhagwan, he's very like great, like a gracious, like humbled leader, like spiritual leader. Mm-hmm. But after, like, there is a significant shift when he does these press conferences, and he's like, I suspect that she wanted to have sex with me, and I don't have sex with my secretaries. And he's like, because she disgusts me, like, so gross,
so awful,
so gross, and like so cold, like.
Calculated.
Not like it. And then he was like, I don't even believe in religion anymore, so y'all should burn that. So he made everyone burn their clothes, all of his books. Like I honestly think that he was just trying to do like a full
like redo,
and be like, I know
he was
nothing.
doing an outfit change, 1000%.
So once the government started investigating, what they found on their property was a full bioterrorism lab that contained the salmonella cultures found in the outbreak, literature on the manufacture and usage of explosives in military biowarfare. They discovered the largest illegal wiretapping operation ever found.
Wiretapping even?
Sheila had everything tapped. And she had like a secret lair that had like hidden doors and staircases.
That's fucking crazy. That's insane.
I'm like,
how does she do all that?
I thought you were going to say, how do I get a secret lair?
No!
I want a secret lair.
Oh. What would we do with a secret lair? I want complete silence.
Yeah, it would be a silent room with just trash TV and like
all the Real Housewives of everywhere.
Yeah, and then like all
things Bravo Below Deck.
Burritos. No,
I know. Okay, I'll have my own. We'll have a layer divide.
Yeah, a layer divide. I'll watch scary movies. You watch Bravo.
Yeah,
and then we'll have Los Juniors delivered.
Just delivered.
Chips and salsa in the middle. Chips
and just
hot walk.
And just taps.
A goblet?
Booch on tap.
Oh. And booch on tap? Yeah.
Booches on tap. And maybe alkaline water. Just for
alkaline?
Just to offset.
Wait, what alkaline? Oh, okay.
Just to offset all the,
some liquid IV.
Yeah, something, yeah. Cool. All right. He does.
Oh, sorry. I forgot where we were going.
See how that happened?
I know. I think that...
Wait, where did that come from? Where did we leave off?
Don't know.
No, it was somebody was doing something and it was
biowarfare, wiretapping. Oh, we were talking about our fort or our
lair.
Okay, so there was also allegations. So there was the biggest wiretapping operation ever found.
That is insane.
The confirmation of the assassination plot on DA Charles Turner. There was also allegations of sexual abuse and rape involving women and children, forced sterilization, and child neglect. And
that is so yuck. Honestly, when anything happens with children,
and those were crimes that were not prosecuted. So eventually, Rajneesh was deported back to India, where he returned to his ashram. Eventually,
and died.
Well, yeah, from old age.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, Sheila and her 3 aides were caught in Germany. She was sentenced to 59 years in prison, but ended up only serving 29 months and was released for good behavior. So she's out.
She's just frolicking?
She's frolicking. But without their leader, the compound quickly collapsed. Sheila now lives...
How old was she when she got out? Do we even know? If we could guesstimate?
No.
Okay, I like that.
That's math.
I don't know how to math.
I don't know how to
My
math
math
right
doesn't
now
math,
either.
in fact.
But so she lives in Switzerland and claims all of her actions were at the order of the Bhagwan. And then he died of natural causes in 1990, and until the day he died, blamed Sheila for everything. And there's still a pretty strong Rajneeshee community today.
In Oregon?
No, in India. So now it's called the Osho International Foundation. And so in 2018, the Netflix produced the documentary Wild Wild Country. And the Osho Foundation said that, quote, the docuseries fails to explore key aspects and so does not give a clear account of the real story. They go on to say, quote, essentially, this was a U.S. government conspiracy from the White House on down aimed at thwarting Osho's vision of a community based on conscious living.
Okay.
Which...
Poke my eyes out. Poke my eyes out.
But yeah, they still have like a pretty decent big following today. And they don't have a lot of the stuff that they had back then. I think it's like a little bit more of a watered down version, because I do think that like some of the stuff he was saying, there's validity to it. It was just...
Right, because honestly, when you started to introduce him to me, I was like, well, that's not terrible. That's not bad.
No, but I think that this is the thing that happens with like these men and women in positions of power, when they have a captive audience willing to eat this shit up.
They're like, how low can you go?
Yeah.
How low?
Because we saw, I mean, I think we saw that with Greg Gamacchio.
Gayakio. Did we call him that? No! That would have been so good. Gayakio?
I think we called him Macchio. Gamacchio. Gayakio is better.
Gayakio.
I don't know.
Hits.
Anyway, okay. He also, like, so right, people have good intentions, and then you put them in a position of power, and they turn yuck.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened, is that you give these people money and you give them power, and they didn't do right by the people that...
money, much power.
People were giving, like, their life savings away to come
for
and be on this
For him to have a Rolls Royce for every day of the year?
Yeah. Super unnecessary for a guy who never leaves his house.
Who's, like, on the brink of death.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yuck. So, yeah, that is the Rajneeshees.
And they're still Oshoing.
They're still Oshoing. Sheila is very much still like,
still
he was the love of my life, but, you know, he was...
The thing is
just like
she
so
was
weird.
Really young when it started. And I'm sure she, like, reached an age where she was like, this is probably... You know, there's moments where she was like, she really could have chosen a better path.
Yeah.
She was probably so deep into it and like held in such a high regard where she felt like she had to do certain things.
Yeah.
Definitely yucky.
Yeah.
Definitely should be held responsible.
I do think that there is something that is
the
to
grooming
be said
of it
about
all.
that she was so young.
Yes.
And she was like brought into his orbit by her dad, who she trusted.
Where'd dad go?
I don't know.
All right. I mean, don't care, I guess.
She was married, so Sheila was married very young to this guy that she met in college.
Was she married to this guy?
She was married to a guy, like, when she was younger. And he had, I don't remember what he had. He had something wrong with him, and he ended up dying very young. Aww. And so she quickly just put everything into the community.
Yeah.
And I think that, I just think
Again,
that, like...
point of her life where she's just like experiencing crazy desperation to find something, you know, like big transitional points in your life or when you're the most vulnerable, for sure.
What should we call this one?
Oh God, I should have been thinking about this the whole time and I didn't. Oh, show no, she didn't. Oh, show no, Sheila didn't. I mean, it's not that bad.
It's really not. It's really...
I mean...
Oh. Okay. Well, that's it. This is Spiritually Fucked.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for hanging. Please follow us on Instagram or like and review our podcast so that we can keep doing this. It's fun.
We like to grow.
Yeah.
We like to do this.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.